and you could say he has looked better than last year on Twitter. They posted this Twitter thread earlier yesterday regarding the Uri Slafkovsky conversation and how everything has gone about this season. Firstly, that's a great point. Slafkovsky's head-down problems were one of the biggest conversation points from last year. The fact is, it was an issue. He was getting bodied around by guys who are only 5'9", like Marco Rossi. And so with this season coming into play and having Slafkovsky always having his head up, this is good. Almost a necessary development thing. The preseason and the beginning of the regular season, we really started to see Slafkovsky actually showcase the playmaking talent that he had put on display at the Olympics last year, the World Championships last year, and in the Finnish League in general. There definitely was more of a preference in Slafkovsky's mind and on-ice actions to be more of a playmaker and a guy that could maybe try to get around a few opponents, maybe make a nice slick move, and then send a pass out in front. There were some moments throughout this season where Slafkovsky really looked more so like the playmaker the Canadians thought they were getting. Maybe not a guy who was necessarily worth the first overall pick, at least not right now at least, but still there. 3. This is what Hattie goes out there and writes. Slafkovsky is connecting plays way better this season too. If Josh Anderson could just stop trying to drive wide and crack the net, that would be the other day when he was making a five-man truck in the end. Josh Anderson could just go from end to end like crazy, and he doesn't really do anything like us in that respect. At least when it comes to creating offense. He's been a lot more of a power to the net kind of guy, and really, I think it's fair to say that the predictability in that is not really all too suited for a guy like Uri Slafkovsky to be playing with. Since, as we said, it's so predictable, it offers very limited flexibility in terms of offensive potential, and just kind of cycle the puck and move things around and get some creative things going. It's not really all too possible with a profile like that on your opposite wing. But still, Slafkovsky has been in a position to try and play way better, and it has shown off in the results. It's just his line mates are really doing any favors in that respect. And number 4, Hattie writes that Uri Slafkovsky is improving his board game. If you know cars and how to fix and maintain them, Budget Auto Centers wants to meet you. He's trusted in an automotive repair as well as 10 looking for service techs to join the team. For a rewarding career with competitive wages in a safe environment, drive your career forward with Budget.
You're looking to make your app the best it can be. Sounds like the reality.
Currently, adding pivots and reverse hits to his arsenal, he'll be fine. And yes, this is also something that I noticed a lot too, is that Slafkovsky on the boards is a lot more efficient this season than last. He is winning more battles, he is spinning around a little bit more, and he is using his body, his big 6'3" frame, to make it more difficult for opponents to steal the puck. And of course, these are very small details, but they do make a big difference as you grow and develop as an NHL player. Of course, you probably want to be able to say more about a first overall pick than just, oh, he's on a shooting percentage better last year, where his shots were either going in or missing wide, and this has folks convinced that he needs to shoot more. He doesn't. He's doing the right thing. There also is a reply here from Harvey Bernard. I'm not going to go out there and read the ad because that's inappropriate. Hattie, what do you want to see done about Slafkovsky short term? Do you think AHL is the best way? The reply here says that top 6 winger is still the projection. His skill set is already there, but the mind isn't yet. You fix that by giving him big minutes in big situations. The Habs seem to tend on winning. So if he can't be placed in the top line, he needs to work on a top line. Therefore, AHL. And we've been seeing more and more of the idea that Slafkovsky should be in the AHL, not just because of the points straight up, but because of things like this. How Slafkovsky is not really being relied upon too much, and the position he is in doesn't really fester much growth because of the lineups that he plays with. So he's playing 4 minutes, top line minutes, being given bigger assignments and more responsibility, then okay, you could justify him playing with guys that don't let him fight with his skill set. Well, if you're going to out to this big here, you're saying, hey, you're playing with guys that don't really allow you to grow, and you're playing limited minutes too, then you can't go out there and say that's course of action. But the guy, why not play about? Why not make him the number one player in that league? I'm not saying that European talent would really progress much in the AHL, which I would kind of disagree because there are a lot of examples of guys that have done well, but either way, for Yaroslav Konstantin, the conundrum is there. But at the end of the day, he still is going to grow in different areas that just don't reflect his excellence on the goals and assists. So look at your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the panic regarding Uri Slafkovsky? We didn't talk about this guy because he's only got 1.9 games for literally like it's honestly not great. That's what it is. But it's very clear to see that he has gotten better. It's just where exactly do those two paths intertwine to a point where you're comfortable as a fan? That's my question to you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What should the Canadians do with Slafkovsky? Should they move him up to the top line? Should they play him with other guys?
Wednesday, November 1st. We're going to start off with bottom of the news. Sens fans lately today with the match that there are many in the audience. So we keep going for it. About a week ago, Shane Pinto suspended 41 games, and that one I kind of understood the player, the people kind of came together and said, that's good. And we haven't heard a lot of details about what's going on there, but there hasn't been any complaint from anybody connected to Phillies fans who are mad about it, but in general, people connected are kind of like, you know what? 41 games is fair. Those who know the details, and then those details have not been together yet. But back in March of 2022, Vegas Golden Knights trade getting the Donov immediately through his agent, witness through his agent, were like, no, that's on his no trade list. Now, Vegas had believed when they acquired the Donov from the Ottawa Senators that his no-trade list had not been submitted. So the Ottawa Senators told Vegas, what we're doing no-trade list is didn't submit it. That was incorrect. He didn't submit it. Still, there was a little bit of some kind of problems with letting down. I think the NHL in this case is pretty severe. So it's a first-round draft pick. They have to post it in 2024, 2025. So it's their choice. They can choose whichever one they want to force it. But there's one thing that they draft it. Which seems really steep, but it's, I don't know, there's Americans made one where there's billions of dollars that number one, I think it's hoping the first round pick of the month, right? And then I would say in a position where they can say, yeah, we can just next year's first round draft pick, no problem, because they're going to be a contender. And so my guess is don't take 2026. That would be my guess on it. Because that's why you're hoping you do. Yeah, so this is the punishment. I know there are Sens fans who are not happy. And again, this is right on the heels of the suspension. So it's a little bit raw for them at this point. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. I do think it's harsh. I think that's pretty harsh. I expected maybe a third round draft pick. At any rate, that's the kind of I get back to the match I actually had that approach. I did look and you know, what players are better than generally longer. It is really difficult to play, and I'm not really contributing in good shape. So, that's the way to want to the capital deal with this thing. Now, the only one of the three is playing on the third line. And so, before the season started, and I think that it felt good, I did do some couch saying, oh, I don't get a big bounce back season. But in the back of my mind, I couldn't get that out there that, you know, guys who have hip surgery or have any kind of hip replacement, anything like that, they normally will not play for very much longer. Their careers are normally done usually about a year later, if not sooner. And so Backstrom, hopefully he's able to get it back and he's able to come back and play for them. But it sounds like this is an open-ended. We'll see. We'll see if he's on to getting that rest at all, or if there's any kind of treatment that he can do, any kind of therapy he can do. So Backstrom's career may very well have come to a very quiet conclusion, or we may talk about him making a return. Say in the spring, if Washington State will get himself into the hunt to get into the playoff spot. What this does do, though, it means that he goes on LTIR, and so when Pat's already good to go, they don't have any problem with cap space. So they don't have any problem with cap space for the injured players they currently have, but I think they'd rather have a healthy McCaffrey. So it has to be a tough way for Ovechkin to see who has essentially been his line mate through most of his career and become one of his best friends.
Top factors senior certificate. Water, non-perishable goods, and a can opener.
Flashlight, batteries, first aid kit.
And power bank to charge your phone.
We'll see Pittsburgh potentially end like this. But again, get surgery and just have problems, they can really shorten your career. So, that being said, I know we are probably going to go so Minnesota will be dealing with injuries in the world too. Like Goldie's going to play tomorrow. So that's an important game for Minnesota to find themselves important too. They need to get it more quickly. Spurgeon's progressing to the first hour of practice today. Didn't do the entire practice, he was getting close, and Freddie Gaudreau is not seeing him. Freddie Gaudreau is still on the side for Minnesota. So those are three key players out of their lineup. Goldie is a young offensive player who's quite good. Spurgeon's arguably their best defenseman. I say arguably because I say he's clearly the best defenseman. We will have Brodeen and Terry Best attention. And Gaudreau is a solid third line option who can do a little bit of everything. So they missed those guys. Nico Hischier, speaking of the New Jersey Devils, who I believe are the opponent of Minnesota Wild tomorrow. Nico Hischier is unlikely to travel on the 4-game road trip coming up for New Jersey. So, of course, he gets hurt last week, and the suspension results from his injury where he got hurt, or the play where he got hurt, that resulted in injury. So hopefully Hischer's not out that long. I'm not that surprised when a guy doesn't travel on a road trip, just because plane rides aren't all that much fun if you're hurt, if you're injured. And if you're dealing with concussion, head injury, this kind of thing, getting on a jet has to be a very uncomfortable situation and not recommended. So, in Hisscher's case, hopefully he's able to come back as soon as possible. But now he's traveling on a road trip. That's going to hurt New Jersey. It's going to hurt New Jersey. We're off to a bit of a spot so hopefully he's not out as long as this is the case. Again, the NHL don't engage you with injuries, right? I think if they could just stop telling us a player's injured, I think they would. I could just be like, you know what? You get the lineup you get. Here's who we think's playing tonight. It's just a blank slate. Or everybody. Just 40 guys on the board. Be like, we don't care. Anyway, all the best to Hischier as he recovers from injury. Paul Stastny has announced his retirement. That took place yesterday, so I did make up the board last night. There will be a through video on Paul Stastny today, so look forward to that video. Paul Stastny had a solid career, and I will talk about that. I thought he played well. He had some good years. Overshadowed a bit by who his father was, but he had a pretty good career in his own right. He played 1,145 games, and all the best to him in retirement. This is an interesting one, and I thought I'd close with this. It's a little bit lighthearted. So Logan Paul's Prime, which has been, fighting its way into the Canadian market. I have seen it locally, so I know it's out there. There's some debate about whether or not Prime works as a hydrator if you're playing sports, that maybe the sugar content's a little bit high or salt content's a little bit low. And again, if you're exercising, you need that salt far more than you need sugar. But at any rate, we can debate drinks at a later date, but Logan Paul's Prime has signed Austin Matthews as a sponsor. So sponsorship agreement between Logan Paul and Austin Matthews. And to think Logan never once thought to message me, I'm hurt. But I will say this, Austin Matthews, who's been on the Pat McAfee show over the last week, and now he signs this deal with Logan Paul's Prime. This is the kind of thing that the National Hockey League should be encouraging. Players appearing in areas where maybe hockey isn't as well known, isn't as talked about, and getting sponsorship deals with somebody like Logan Paul, who again might be able to bring fresh eyeballs to the National Hockey League. Sport, and you want to make sure work, and they have one of the big three. That's how they have to do that. A lot of commercials in Canada, so I know I guess we can have private commercials for that as well. At some point, but anyway, let me put your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Alright, so 4 games tonight in the National Hockey League, all starting at different times. We'll follow along, you absolutely can. So this is going to be an interesting one. We have the 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific Continental Sabres, the Philadelphia Flyers meeting one another. This is the first of 3 meetings, will be again November the 3rd. As well as April the 5th. On the Buffalo side, they are 4 and 5 to start the season, but it feels like things are getting a little better. Greenway, goal and 3 assists for 4 points has been good. Showed a little bit of leadership for them too. I think he's more comfortable in Buffalo than he was in his time in Minnesota. Paterka with just the 4 goals so far, but while it's just 12 points in 9 games, 4 goals in 9 games is pretty good. Yoki Haru has 5 assists on the blue line. I wanted to highlight that because it feels like Yoki Haru being on like a 40-point pace. It's a little high. Then on the Philadelphia side, you got a team at 4-4-1 that have lost back-to-back games. They're looking to bounce back. And Konecny can be part of that. 8 goals, 3 assists, 11 points for him. He's been quite good. Tippett, the puck started going in that for him. He's going forward to the goal for him. 2 goals, 3 assists, 4 points. So we'll see how things go tonight. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, so 4 hours and a half after this Eastern. So this Eastern, I'm just going to use one board, so I'll just keep my notes minimal on this one here when it's only game 1. So Dallas and Calgary start up at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, first of 3 meetings, all of them in November. They meet again November the 24th as well as November the 30th. So by the end of this month, they'll be sick of each other and also done with each other. The Dallas Stars 5-1-1 to start the season. Marchment has been quiet offensively, a goal and an assist thus far. Duchesne had a goal in their last game, so maybe things can start going well for him. He has a goal to go with 2 assists for 3 points with Dallas. And Heiskanen